This is America's Next Top Model Sydney doll made by MGA Toys. I darkened her eyes and I gave her some blush. And then I put the head on a Barbie made to move body, the pale one. And she is wearing a dress that I made and carrying a broom that I made and wearing a hat that I made. And she's just a nice, sassy little witch. She doesn't quite have a name. She's just called ANTM in my files. This doll I call Dolly, as in Dolly Smash, because she has a very hulking little body, which is really cute. She was originally a souvenir doll wearing flamenco clothes, and I peeled off her original wig and replaced it with this lovely pink wig. And I made a new dress, and I made tights, and I made the shoes. They're not great. I will give her real shoes or learn how to make real shoes someday. But this is just such a funny little doll that I had to salvage her and find some way to make her more modern than the flamenco doll. And she has eyes that move side to side and lids that go up and down, so she can just give the most wonderfully judgmental expressions. Trudy, she is a vintage Hong Kong generic style toddler doll that originally didn't have the light reflections in the eyes, so I put those on with a dot tool, and then I rerouted her with hair from an equally thrifted My Little Pony Equestria Girl doll. And I made her hat, and I put her on an old 1990s ballerina Barbie body, and she's just another one of my cute little witch dolls. This is a Clawdeen that was repainted by John. She is one of many John repaints you will see. So he gave her a nice softer expression. He also carved out her joints a little bit so she has a slightly better range of motion in her elbows and the back of her knees, and I think under her arms. And she's wearing 16-inch jean-style King State fashion doll shoes because it is hard to find shoes for those larger Monster High dolls. And like I said, she is one of many cute John dolls you'll be seeing. This is Pratima. She is another souvenir doll head, this one from a much smaller, very badly done Native American doll. And I've obviously taken that head off of that original small body, and I've cut the neck off of a gymnast Barbie body and looped this head, which is attached by elastic. There's an elastic loop inside holding it to one of the struts inside the body. And it's a very firm connection, and someday I will get her a longer wig. She's wearing a sari I made fairly quickly. It's not the best sari, but she's dressed for now, and she is, I think, much happier than she was before. This is the Mycene Madison that has a new face-up by Cheshire Tippy. It is an adorable face-up. I couldn't hope to paint a doll like that myself. She's wearing a wig from a Monster High Create-A-Monster doll, and she's on a Fashionista's artsy Mickey darker tan body. And she's just one of my cuter dolls. I've had her in Lolita style clothes, and as you can see, she's in a jumpsuit, and she looks good in everything that I've put her in. This is another John custom. The head is from a little Fairytopia style doll, and John repainted her and then put the head on a G.I. Joe movie Berenice body, which actually works really well. She's great. This is a Tuesday Tailor by Ideal Toys. She has the rotating scalp, but I have completely rerouted her in pink, so there's no need to rotate the scalp anymore. And I put her on a Fashionista's body. The color match isn't great, but this is such an interesting head sculpt and unusual doll that I think it's better for her to have the articulation. This is Vertigo. He is another John custom. The head is, I believe, from one of the Twilight dolls, and the body is an action figure body, and John obviously not only repainted the face, but custom painted the head and the body to match, because we do like our green people. I did have to fix a broken ankle, but at least he has feet, and he has a lot of attitude like all of John's dolls, and I'm happy to have this green guy. This is the doll I've owned for longer than any other doll. She's not my oldest doll, but she's the doll I've owned the longest. Well, first I got a red-haired Darcy Covergirl doll for Christmas when I was very small and the dolls were new, and I was too small and too rough, and I pulled one of her legs off. And my parents saw how much I liked the doll, so they took me to pick out a replacement. I remember walking into the store and seeing a huge end cap of Covergirl dolls, and Dana here is the one I picked out. I took much better care of her, until I decided a few years later that Disco was dead and I needed to give her a more modern haircut. So for years she suffered a very bad haircut. When the Gem dolls came along, she was a producer for them and she wore a lot of turbans and borrowed Jerica's hats. But then a few years ago I was finally at a skill level where I could fix her hair, restyle it, and cut it a little more strategically. She still does wear hats, but that's because at this point it's her style. She's wearing vintage Barbie, again 16-inch doll shoes get put on a lot of larger feet, and a sweater from Etsy, and she is still one of my favorite dolls, and I'm glad I kept her.